Welcome everyone to another VTI Legends Corners video. I am your host and officer, Orange Leader 398, and today we're going to talk about a fun little topic called territory battles, also commonly referred to as TBs, short obviously for territory battles. So first, we're going to start with obviously where to find it. So if you go over to your guild table back here, of course it's in the back, and you're going to see it on this right hand side in the front. Currently my guild is running the Hoth Rebel Assault, so we're going to talk about that here tonight. So we'll go ahead and enter. You can see some details about it. They got a nice little summary. They have specific details. So if you are looking for maybe what the enemy units do, so if like you keep running into a battle and it's like, how is this guy doing it? You can actually go down and see, okay, the Snow Trooper Ops, okay, he has that blackout when he's an elite, you know. It does massive damage to units with less than 70% health. Maybe that's why you're getting wiped, is you're not killing this guy soon enough. And he's doing that massive damage. They also got the commanders, the probe droids, any character they have that you can fight against, even the ATST driver, who I wish they'd, eventually bring into the game as a character. That'd be nice. Then they have the abilities. Now we'll kind of get to those in a little bit later, but if you want more details about them, you can also find that right here as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the actual map itself, which you do by hitting this enter at the bottom right hand corner. So as you can see, I'm kind of jumping in later here at phase 4, so that way I can kind of give a little bit of an overview, kind of what it can look like down the road. Now, as you can see on the map here, the top portion is ships, and as you can tell, all 3 spots where you could potentially do something are grayed out. That is because you have hit the maximum number of points, and because you have done that, you can't put any more troops down through deploying, or you can't do any more combat missions. So that is a completely blocked off. You can't do anything here. So let's go down here. Now here you can see we have 4 areas that we could do something. The first area I'm going to talk about is called not deployment, but rather platoons. Now platoons, also known as plats, depending on who you talk to, are very important. These will give you a type of bonus. For example, we are currently 3 out of 6, which I'll get to here in a second. But that gives us a level 1 bonus in the next 2 sections. So the 2 highlighted sections, the little red marker indicates which one I'm clicked on now. The next yellow 2 indicate that when we go to the next phase, those 2 areas are going to be affected by this bonus. So we want this to eventually be a 6 out of 6 level 3. So if it's only a level 1 when we get there, it's a nice bonus, 25% defense and 40% chance to dispel all buffs, but we're going to be missing out on an extra 25% defense and 10% critical avoidance, as well as adding 20% health recovery per turn and a 20% increase in that dispel chance. So instead of just having a 40%, it would be up to a 60%, which is pretty nice, and it's very helpful. Because as you progress further and further, each territory is going to have more and more difficult battles, because the enemies are going to be like, whether it's higher gear, or if you're doing like the GOTB battles, they can oftentimes be much higher in terms of their relics. So let's go ahead and enter and see what it looks like on the inside. Now here on the inside, you're going to have the markers. The platoons here, 1, 2, 3 on the left. You got 4, 5, 6 on the right. If you see a little red number indicator, it goes from 1 all the way to 3, even though you could potentially put more in. It'll just say, I believe, 3 plus. So let's go ahead and click on Platoon 4. Now I have 3 characters who I can deploy and fill up this platoon. And I am going to do that because neither of these characters are going to be used when I actually go through and do combat missions. They weren't necessarily assigned to me, but let's get those filled. And right now, we've actually gone from a 3 to a 4, so that gives us that level 2 bonus. Now, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this one here. That gets us to a 5. However, if you look right above my head here, there's no red dot. So that means I don't actually have a 5-star Vandor Chewie, which is unfortunate. Now, you might be wondering, well, can't one person basically fill out most of this? That would be nice, though there are some duplicate characters. But if you look up above the Platoon 4 button, up by the home button, you're going to see assigned units 8 out of 10. That means every person in the guild is limited to 10 units within this set of platoons. So I have currently placed 8, and I don't have the Vandor Chewie to place. If I did, that would be 9, but I'd get a 6 out of 6. So, waiting for someone to hopefully put that Vandor Chewie in, and we'll be good to go for getting that bonus. Now I'm going to move down to this bottom level here, this outer pass as it's called. I'm going to quickly do a check here. We're 4 out of 6. That's pretty good. And you know what? I am going to be able to top that off. Even though I'm throwing out a Relic 4 Mace Windu, typically you want lower gear, lower star characters to fill that. But I can make do without Mace Windu. I would rather we have the bonuses for this ability, which is going to be key in the next phase. Now, we're going to talk about something called CMs. As you can tell by the guild chat right over here, if I can remember which way my camera is inverted. CMs are short for combat missions. Those are going to be the ones that have the little gun above it. I believe it's the same symbol for ships. Yes, it is. So a combat mission is a mission in which you send in 5 troops, you go through a certain number of waves, and once you have done that, you will get points. You can see on the top of the little pop-up screen here, earn territory points for completing this battle, up to 423,000. So, when you do this mission, you have the chance to earn all those points, and that will go towards your star total. Each phase, or each territory in a phase, has the opportunity of getting up to 3 stars. Now, what if you don't get that 3rd star? Well, that's what happened to us in that last phase, phase 3. Things got a little shaky, people were busy, some people are away at work, it happens. And so we ended up missing a couple stars, which, in the grand scheme of things, not a huge deal. We're a pretty laid back, relaxed guild, so, no shade anywhere. It happens. But if you do happen to miss a star, or miss completing it, but you still get a star, you will advance. So in each of these phases here, or in each of these territories here, we will move on to the next phase into the next territory. Now let's say we knew we can't get all the stars in this one here, but we could get them all down here if we focused. We might actually do something called preloading, which you would take it up as close as you can to the star mark without getting the star. if you don't get a star in the territory, you actually get held back into that territory, which in some cases, especially in the Geo territory battles or the Geonosis territory battles, both light and dark, preloading can help you actually get more stars in the long run, because it's easier to get 3 stars in maybe like the first phase by preloading one of them than it is trying to get, maybe 2 stars here, and then maybe the next one you don't get as much, because you're too far spread out trying to do it in too many places. So preloading can be beneficial if it's like, okay, better to get 3 here and none here, and then get 3 here the next phase and move on with the other one. So that is a potential strategy. Now, a lot of times, especially in the Hoth, you will definitely want to get the strafing run to level 3. Best advice, get that to level 3, get that, if you're doing the dark side one, get that orbital bombardment, get that to max strength. It really helps out your guildmates. I mean, we got some guys who, they're struggling at this level to get through all the missions. This makes it so much easier. You might lose a couple of your units that you use along the way, but in the end, overall, it will help the guild out a lot more. So definitely make sure that if you're going to get any of the bonuses, get this space ones. They are super helpful. So, at this point, the last thing we need, or the last 2 things we need to talk about, we have a special mission. Now, this is a mission where you will get a reward. In this one, it is Guild Mark 1 token currency. So for each person who completes it, you get 20. However, if you look at the requirements, they have to at least be 5-star, 5 units, and you have to have Rebel Officer Leia Organa. So if you were to go into this here, it is automatically going to put her in that leader's spot. So you would more than likely really want to have a rebel group around her to really make use of her leadership. However, if you don't have strong rebels and you have done all the other combat missions, then whatever team you have left, if it's strong enough, just throw it with her. I used to have terrible rebels, so I actually used to throw the clones with her, and the clones would carry it. Like, I didn't recently get her till Relic until recently. So these are nice. They are not necessary, but they are nice. So if you have enough teams to do the 1 mission down here and the 2 missions up here, having light side and being able to use the Hoth Rebel Soldier up here with rebels, if you have enough, go for it. In the end, I'll have enough and I will definitely go for it, and I'll get to 20. Pretty easy. But we also want to make sure that we get the stars that we aim for. So there's been times where I have actually not done the mission because we needed the 3 stars up here. And so I saved my GP, or Galactic Power, for what is called deploy. Now this is going to be the last thing we talk about today. So with your deploy, what that is that allows you to take all of your characters, put them in that area, and put their GP towards your next star. Now this is usually the last thing that you will do. You will always want to do CM, you want to do platoons first, combat missions second, any special missions third, and the final thing you do is deploy. That is absolutely the final thing you do. You don't want to do it too soon, because if I accidentally hit this now and I don't back out, I am no longer able to take any of those units, which would be all of them. I hit the select all button, and I would not be able to do anything down here. I would not be able to do this combat mission because I would have no tunes here. They would all be up here. Now, let's say you accidentally deploy on accident. You know, you thought you clicked something else, you hit the button to enter the combat, and you deployed. Whoops. Well, there is a silver lining for that. Whatever area you deploy in, because those units are in that area, if you haven't done the CMs, you can still do the combat missions in the area where you have deployed. So therefore, if I were to accidentally deploy here before doing any CMs, any of the special missions, I could still at least do 2. My guild would not be very happy. I would not be very happy with myself, but hey, we could at least get 2 done. And that's something. So, alright. Well, and I suppose the last thing everyone wants to know as well, what if we want to know a little bit more about what the rewards are? Well, great thing is they have a nice little rewards tab here. It shows you what you currently are at. I believe we were shooting for probably around that 27, 28 range because we missed a couple. Maybe we'll get up to that 30. We'll see. But you can definitely check your rewards here. It is good stuff. I mean, tokens are tokens. It's for gear. It's for characters. If you need gas or Malik, you absolutely need that Mark 1 gear. Mark 2, that is used a lot for the Malevolence and Negotiator, which are, believe it or not, still top-end fleets. They're no Executor. They're not that. But you know what? They're still good. They're still worthy of having, and they help make territory wars and territory battles a lot more effective. Because in a light side territory battle like this, you can't use dark side fleets. So if I go in, which I can't actually do the mission, but if you look, I can only do light side fleets. So having that negotiator is still going to be very helpful. So that is your tips and tricks and everything you really need to know about territory battles. If you got anything that I missed, or if you want to see me make a different type of video, hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what your favorite character is. I mean, we all got a favorite character. We all got one. And believe it or not, I think my favorite character right now is probably Ayla Sakura. Because her stuns are huge in Conquest right now. I'm getting a lot of stuns with a lot of potency out there. She is stun locking a lot of the characters I usually have troubles with. So huge shout out to that. Let me know who your favorite character is in the comments as well. And as always, you know, fly high, stay safe, and be a legend. Orange Leader 398 is out of here. Later, legends.